And stay out!
Haha! Looks like we beat him to it.
I know, right? Looks like we're getting some luck finally.
Indeedly so.
Good thing, too. I may not know much about Latin America, but I do know there's a lot of potential here that Fumon could have destroyed.
With half of the population under the age of 25, free trade agreements between the countries housing large video game developers, and a solid growing economy, Latin America has quite a bit to offer in terms of gaming.
I also hear that Mexico is growing in the gaming industry despite the social issues. What was it? In 2007, their market for video games stood at $600 million, and then 4 years later grew to $1.2 billion?
And even though folks in the Mexican market have to pay 30% to 60% more for hardware and software, their average growth has been about 30% since.
Dang, I know a lot of people back home that wouldn't believe those numbers. But what could the Fumon have gotten into? I get that when it comes to China or the Middle East, there are some really big buttons to push. But Central and South America seem a bit more open. What do you think they were planning?
Oh, I was afraid of this.
What?
It seems our cloaked adversaries were attempting a much more subtle approach.
Entrañas? Wait, isn't that Spanish for entrails? I know it's been a while since I've played WoW, but I know for a fact that that's the Undercity. What in the world is going on with that?
You understand how varied a single language can be, right, Goombah?
Well, yeah, I know that Mexican Spanish has 10 different varieties in that country alone.
Going beyond that, this appears to be a localization attempt at Castilian Spanish.
Like European Spanish?
Exactly. There's more of a tendency in Castilian Spanish to translate names into literal forms. It looks like the Fumon were aware of this and tried to exploit this misunderstanding of language.
Oh wow, look at this one. It's supposed to be Stormwind, but this name. Weird. Hey, Muscles, doesn't this mean come here storm, as in a command?
Seems the Fumon are trying to get even craftier. And it wouldn't end there either.
What do you mean?
Are you a fan of Cooking Mama and other food-related games?
I've played a few in my time.
Imagine this. Let's say in the game you want to make pico de gallo sauce.
Rooster beak sauce, I'm following ya.
Imagine if that name, which is Spanish, remained the same when sold in Chile.
Oh wow. Yeah, I getcha. In Chile, pico means a guy's... Oh, so rooster... Yikes.
It can be even more subtle than that. If you were speaking Spanish in Mexico and used the word que to say what, it may come across as rude depending on the context. That's why you'll sometimes hear the word mande instead of que. However, this may cause confusion when speaking Spanish in other countries. While many Spanish speakers in other parts of Latin America know what mande means, not all will have heard it or know what it means. So while you're trying to not come across as rude, you may cause confusion.
Criminy. After tackling all these big, broad issues the Fumon have been kicking up, it's almost strange to see them try something so subtle. I guess it would be easy for anyone to fall prey to such small details.
And that's why we can't quit. We have to keep fixing the problems that the Fumon come up with. And look! One of their bandanas.
It seems they left a trail in their hasty retreat. Let's follow it to see where they're headed next.